Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the final edition of Zips Weekly for the 2024 season here at the University of Akron. It's been brought to you all season long by Bryan Heating and Cooling and the Akron Fairlawn Hilton Hotel. Well, if you were at InfoCision Stadium this past Tuesday night, you saw an instant classic as the Zips knock off Toledo in overtime, 21-14. And looking back at this year, a couple high notes. How about the Zips finishing with the most wins they've had since the 2018 season? Akron beat 3 Mid-American Conference teams. They kept the wagon wheel in Akron for a second season. They beat Toledo for the first time since 2013. And Coach, I think the most impressive thing, your football team was playing their best football in the last part of the season.
Yeah, there's an old saying in football circles, they remember November. So as you mentioned, to win 3 of our last 5, win 2 in a row, keep the wagon wheel, and go out on a high note with our final game of the season. Very proud of the coaches and players in the program, but most happy for our seniors.
Yeah, talking to your players, and you also, Coach, after the game this past Tuesday, they were extremely happy. It's almost like they won the conference title. That's how much that game meant to them.
It did, and we talked all week about Toledo being a blue blood program in the Mid-American Conference, and have the utmost respect for Coach Scandal and the program that he's built. And I believe they entered the season as the preseason favorite to win the league. But anytime you're able to beat Toledo #1, but beat a team that's that well coached and has that much talent, certainly speaks well of our kids.
We're going to watch highlights in a minute, Coach, but there are so many ups and downs, peaks and valleys in that game. How'd you keep your composure there with so many different things happening all around you?
Yeah, you just got to be able to handle adversity and handle prosperity. I think our kids did a good job of kind of staying even keeled throughout the course of the game, and ultimately, we knew we said it was going to take 60 minutes or as long as it takes, and we got a little free football there at the end, and did a nice job in overtime. Exactly.
That game was watched or listened to all over the country. I'm sure you got a few phone calls after that one, Coach, from friends who were watching that all over the country.
Yeah, the over-on walked into the office, and it was at 67 unread text messages,
wow.
And I think it got up into the mid-100s. So it was good to know that people were watching. We're excited about, the Zips notching a big win.
There you go. Hey, let's go back to InfoCision Stadium this past Tuesday night, final game of the regular season. Zips win the coin toss, and you go on defense, Coach.
Yep. Feel that was a good strategy throughout the course of the year. Hopefully you get a 3 and out, you get the ball, and then you get the ball coming out of the half. But, it was a lot of bend but don't break for our defense throughout the course of the game. Toledo came out and kind of dink and dunked us down the field a little bit, mixed up the run and the pass, but ultimately we were able to get off the field without giving up any points.
One thing I noticed watching the highlights, Coach, your defense was fresh. There was a lot of gang tackling, 3, 4, 5 guys on the tackle.
Yeah, with that offensive line, and Gleason's a big old character who can run the ball well, and a talented stable of running backs, it's tough to get them on the ground.
First play of your possession, Coach, and this is a beauty. You go a pass from Ben Finley to Marion Granger, 73 yards. Was that scripted? I'm sure.
Yeah, it was just a simple split zone RPO where we were reading the overhang. They came out, really had not shown a snap of cover 2, but showed cover 1, played cover 2 there. Ben did a good job reading the overhang, who played the run. Got it to Marion, and he did the rest.
Garrison Smith with the extra point, and all of a sudden, early in this football game, Akron is up 7-0. How big was that, Coach? You're fired up anyway, now to get up and score early to lead 7-0.
Big confidence booster, right? It's a game of momentum, and for us to be able to go up early, gave our kids some good confidence, and we were able to carry that through the first half.
There's Finley to Israel Polk again. Here comes a nice, a nice sweep there from Taj Bullock.
Yeah, we
Nothing
wanted to
fancy, but he got yardage.
Yeah, we wanted to use Taj a little bit more on 1st and 2nd down in this game, knowing that they would defend him a certain way, and felt with how well they stopped the run that would give us more favorable numbers, and we were able to move the ball a bit with Taj in there outside of his normal 3rd down and goal line packages.
You mentioned, Coach, your defense kind of bent but didn't break. Now we're going to watch just a great throw here, a scramble by Finley, and an outstanding catch by Granger again right there at midfield.
Yeah, flea flicker, we were hoping to get him into split safety, and they ended up bringing some pressure off the edge. Ben did a good job avoiding the rush, and scrambling to hit Marion on another big play.
Charles Kellum was probably your #1 healthy running back. He had to pretty much do it all the other night.
Yeah, Simmons was out. We spun him a little bit with Marquise, and we knew with this defensive line that they have, it looks like a Power 4 team that we were going to have to continue to run the ball, maybe with not as many explosive plays, but, with how our defense was playing, and, in a cold weather game like that, it's probably going to be low scoring. We had to, be smart with our possessions and attempt to, figure out a way to run it a little bit.
There you get a great punt. We saw that by Avery Book, who did a great job all season. I think he pinned him down at the one on that. Again, that was your center, Liam Reardon, going down to the football.
Yeah, those two have been a dynamic duo. I think both are worthy of all conference consideration. And then once again, another example of the bend but don't break. They get down in there within the 10. And then anytime we get in the red zone on defense, we say 3 or 0, and ended up getting a turnover and won the turnover battle.
It's a nice pass in the sidelines, Coach, up to the 29-yard line. You started deep. It was nice to get a couple of first downs there and get good field position.
Anytime you're inside the 10, the goal of those possessions offensively is 20 yards or 2 first downs in order to flip field position. This drive did not result in a score, but we did flip the field and forced Toledo to play a little bit longer on the other end. I think a good example of complementary football.
Yeah, watching second half action. Akron up 7-0 Tuesday night against Toledo. And again, you see that swarming defense for the Zips in this first half, doing a lot of good things. Again, that's Taj Bullock running right.
Yeah, once again, first and second down runs for Taj, and had to try to find some space and some running room there, and with Taj's size and speed and getting the numbers right, he was able to make some plays.
Coming down to the final minute here of the first half, Akron just trying to hang on and get into the locker room with the 7-0 lead. Coach trying not to do anything too fancy. He had momentum and just going with that 7-0 lead.
Yeah, we didn't want to do anything silly there at the end. Up 7-0,
Yeah.
Wanted to head into the locker room with the lead, knowing that we were going to get the ball coming into the second half, and we're able to convert a first down there to avoid punting and headed in up 7-0.
There you go. Zips up 7-0 at halftime. Tuesday night against Toledo. Game's not over by a long shot. We're going to see a lot of action here in a minute, so don't go away. We're back with second half highlights and overtime right after this.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
Here, let me show you how this works.
it takes Bryant.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes E.H. Roberts Heating and Cooling. Find them at ehroberts.com.
Dear Dr. Roque, thank you for being an amazing faculty member at the University of Akron. I have definitely become a better version of myself throughout my time at UA with your help.
Wow. Thank you. It's all about the students. They're more than just names on tests.
He has been really there for me. There are people that are there to help you understand, whether it's material in a class or it's just life advice.
Gotcha.
Okay, welcome back to Zips Weekly with head football coach Joe Moorhead. We are at halftime. We're about ready to watch highlights of the second half. Akron is up right now, 7-0. Toledo's going to tie it, then it's going into overtime. And Coach, your experience as a head coach and a player, how many overtimes have you been involved in, do you think?
I don't know how many specifically, but
It's been a few.
Well, you look at the head of hair, they usually had a few more grays up there, so you can tell it's probably been enough.
There you go. Let's go back and pick up highlights again from this past Tuesday night. Akron leading 7-0. Akron's going to get the second half kickoff, Coach, and you're eventually going to get a 14-0 lead, but in this first possession, just trying to make something happen.
Yeah, both defenses playing well. I think both offenses playing efficiently but not explosively, and got a little third down throwback screen here to Ben for a conversion. That was, you want to pull out all the stops, throw the flea flicker, throw the throwback. Last game of the season, you want to try to make some of those things happen. But once again, in a game that was dictated by field position, not a 3 and out, a couple first downs we generated, flipped the field, and forced Toledo to go the long way.
There was Finley to Bobby Golden. Now they're going to run wide again to Charles Kellman. Again, boy, how strong is he in the legs, just carrying people with him.
Yeah, particularly with the volume of carries and pass pro he had to do throughout the course of the game. I thought it showed how well conditioned and prepared he was, and Coach Richardson did a nice job getting him ready.
Another good open field tackle right there. Looks like that was Mon Greenwood maybe that got him.
He did, and a huge challenge for our defense, with number 1 and number 2, who are, I think, two of the top 5 receivers in the league. This Gleason kid could throw it, he could run it. Coach Candle and their offensive staff do a nice job scheming it up. So it was, a huge challenge for our defense, and they stepped up and played a tremendous game.
One thing we noticed, Coach, we're going to see a great example here. Your secondary did not miss a lot of open field tackles.
No, we didn't. We want to keep it inside and in front, and not get that thing thrown over our heads. So, the one thing that offensive coordinators don't do well is avoid boredom, and that's what we said. We want to just keep making them snap it over and over and over again.
Back-to-back good catches by Rizzo Polk. Here is the second one, Coach. He's going to go up and grab this with his hands.
Yeah, great throw. I mean, they played man-to-man basically every snap of the game. Ben did a nice job diagnosing coverage, throwing it into tight windows, and then particularly on this last scoring drive, stepping up into the pocket rather than escaping outside. And they say for a pass rusher, the worst seat in the house is behind the quarterback. And you saw that there with him being able to scramble and get some yardage.
How quick a decision does he have to make, Coach? Initial, nobody open, go, or
Well,
not?
it's usually by your third hitch. So we say exhaust your progressions quickly, and then it's runaway, run, throwaway. So man-to-man, you want to hit your runaway routes. You want to run the ball, and if you can't do that, you want to throw it away. Then you see our instant touchdown maker down there on the goal line getting in the end zone for the 8th time this season.
Yeah, Taj Bullock from about a yard or 2 out makes it 14-0. At this point, did you think 14 points was enough, Coach, or not?
Yeah, you never know. I mean, we've had so many big leads this year that we've seen, disintegrate. And against a team like Toledo, it's never over till that last second ticks off the clock.
Well, right now it's 14-7, and there's still 10 minutes to go in the football game, and Akron trying to get some more points on the board. Toledo trying to tie it up, as they eventually will. Here's Charles Kellum again, and you can see how strong he is. That's 2 or 3 Toledo Rockets linebacker, and he's carrying them with him.
Yeah, we had some good runs on this drive. We moved it into plus position, and then unfortunately we had a third down play where Ben recognized man, and Amarian, got open, and we weren't able to connect, which would have, put us into the red zone, and then we had to punt that thing away.
Well, 2 minutes and 14 seconds left, and we are tied 14-14. And now you're going to see Toledo's last drive, and that looked like the freshman there. Was that Cottrell White making that?
Yeah, it was. Cottrell got some quality reps this game, and you see Summers making one of his 19 tackles there, and they come out and push that thing wide right.
You're on the sideline, Coach. You're watching that. When did you know that was going to go wide right?
I had no idea until the ref signaled it.
Now, here's a great call, Coach, and I'm going to ask you, did you have this all pretty much diagrammed out you were going to do on that first play in overtime?
Well, we did, and earlier in the game when Taj was in, we were in that formation, 3-by-1 with the tight end backside, and we ran pin and pull with the tailback to the flat and saw how they defended it, and then the counter off of that is to run the bluff with the running back, and we RPO'd him, and the guy chose to defend the quarterback, and we threw it to the running back.
Now, Toledo gets down. They're inside the 1 yard line. Coach, I'm down on the field. The nose of the football's inside the 1. You step him on 3rd, and here is C.J. Nunnally, the biggest sack of the year. And that, of course, is followed by a huge celebration as Akron wins it 21-14.
Yeah, huge goal line stand. When we get down there inside the 1, you got to put everyone at the line and essentially you can just blitz everybody and play man-to-man, and we did that for three consecutive snaps, and we were able to keep them out.
C.J. Nunnally, of course, all Mid-American Conference on the sack, and that had to be fun to watch, Coach, and congratulations on that great win, 21-14 in overtime. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some of the great individual performances in that big win over Toledo. So don't go away. We're back right after this.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
Here, let me show you how this works.
it takes Bryant.
Bryant. Whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes E.H. Roberts Heating and Cooling. Find them at ehroberts.com.
Come on over and check out what we're doing.
As always, if there was a big win, and there's a huge win against Toledo on Tuesday night, there's always some great individual performances. And Coach, let's start with your two linebackers. I haven't seen numbers like this in a long time. How about Gage Summers? 19 tackles, 8 solo, 11 assists. Ryan McCoy, 17 tackles, 7 solo, 10 assists. They were just all over the place.
No, they were. It was a truly impressive performance by those two guys. Gage has really stepped up his production the last few weeks and has earned more snaps in addition to, Antavius Fish. And, those two guys were really all over the field.
You mentioned guys that stay in the program, just go along, continue to do the right thing and work hard. Charles Kellum and Gage Summers, I guess, would be two you'd point at right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I heard an old baseball coach say this, that it's a day and age where kids don't necessarily work while they wait. And I understand it. Kids leave for the portal for better opportunities. And, I'm not against that. But, there's also the other side of that where guys come in and, kind of go through it in more of the traditional sense. And, Charles and Gage are two of those guys.
Let's talk about C.J. Nunnally, the biggest sack of the year when he sacks the quarterback, Tucker Gleason, to win that football game. He had 2 tackles for loss plus the sack. And he's a guy that he came in last year. I think a lot of people don't know much about him. He had a great year. People were defending him right now. They're game planning against him.
Yeah, CJ's done a really admirable job throughout the season. Like I said, with teams sliding the protection his way or using a running back and tight end to chip, and knowing that he's a guy that can win the one-on-one matchups, and he's found different ways to affect the game, and none more importantly than the last play of the Toledo game.
Yeah, anytime your defense can hold a team to 14 points, a secondary's got to play well. A couple guys that had some pretty good numbers. Paul Lewis, 6 solo tackles, 3 assists. Darian Lewis, a tackle for loss. And again, good open field tackling.
Yeah, outside of a couple plays, we really didn't get the ball thrown over our head at all. And as you mentioned earlier, it was sure tackling, knowing that we were going to play some soft zones, that we were going to give up some, shorter passes and maybe some first downs with the thought process of making their offense snap it again and eventually, get off the field. And, the defensive backs did a nice job with the game plan. Yeah,
last year I had an opportunity to talk to a class on campus, and one of the guys that was in the class was big Bruno Dahl, and he is a guy that was smiling, came up to me after I spoke and shook my hand, and he must change when he gets on the field, Coach, from a mild-mannered student athlete to somebody that can play defensive end at the D1 level.
Yeah, he's like Ivan Drago, except I guess that would be more Russian than German.
Yeah.
But yeah, he flips a switch, and Bruno, Germany via high school in Mississippi, great evaluation by our guys, and was bit by the injury bug his first couple years, and has really done a nice job as the kind of third end in behind CJ and Bennett, and has done some nice things.
We talked all season long on the TV show about you went out and really improved your special teams, and you brought in Avery Book, who's going to be up for, I think, all Mid-American Conference punter. Did another good job against Toledo.
Yeah, and once again, credit to Coach Mavico, and with all the evaluations and portal acquisitions, and had a bunch of great open competition for those spots, and between Avery and Garrison and Reardon at the long snapper, those guys were one-year guys that really made a positive impact on the season.
That's got to give a comforting feeling, Coach. You get down there close, and Garrison Smith is the guy that's going to hit the majority of field goals for you.
Yeah, I mean, you watch all these NFL games, and it's really, they get to the 40, and there's going to be points.
Yeah.
For us this year, we knew, hey, we get to the 30 or kind of somewhere between the 30 and 35, there's a pretty good chance that old Garrison was going to knock that thing through. And as a play caller, it kind of changes your approach once you hit that 45 to 30, that part of the field. And, you're playing more for points than first downs at that point.
Exactly. We mentioned Charles Kellum a few times when you watched the highlights of the first and second half. He ran 21 times, good yardage, caught 3 passes out of the backfield, which means he's a multi-dimensional halfback.
Yeah, super smart kid, really diligent worker in terms of coming in, watching extra film, digesting the game plan, consistently high-level practice habits. And as I've always said, practice habits end up being game realities. So to me, it's not a surprise that Charles, when he's given opportunities, steps in and does well, because that's the way he prepares.
Ben Finley, I thought, made some good decisions, managed the game well, as he should now. And he's a guy that's a veteran. He's been around. And I'm not sure that surprised you or not, the way he played.
No, I'm ecstatic with Ben's first year as a full-time starter at this level. Kind of went through the growing pains and the that first part of the schedule, and as we continue to shore up our pass protection and give him a little more time, and he stayed calm in the pocket. He wasn't forcing as many throws. The Toledo game wasn't necessarily anything spectacular or flashy, but we talked about all week. The team that was going to win the turnover battle was going to win the game, and he found a way to push the ball down the field, convert third downs, throw the last touchdown in there, and avoided giving Toledo any additional possessions.
Exactly. Seemed like Toledo tried to take Adrian Norton out of the game. He knew he was your number one guy, which opened up a lot against Toledo. Marion Granger and Israel Polk, I thought, played well.
Yeah, our slot receivers had some nice production. I think 6 catches between them. I think Bobby Golden had a catch. But at the end of the day, that number 12 for Toledo, I mean, he's the best cover corner in the league. So we knew it was going to be a tough matchup. They played a bunch of press man-to-man. AD had a couple of opportunities that we didn't connect on. We tried to challenge them. But at the same time, that's part of game planning and calling the game, that you got to find a way to work to the more favorable matchups. And this week, the slots were the better matchup.
Exactly. Well, congratulations. All the Zips have played their final game over at Infocision Stadium on Tuesday night. What a way to go out with a nice win over the Rockets. We're going to take a break and take a quick look at next year, so don't go away.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
Here, let me show you how this works.
it takes Bryant.
Bryant. Whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes E.H. Roberts Heating and Cooling. Find them at ehroberts.com.
Dear Dr. Kapler, you have shown over and over the immense love and passion that you have for developing not only great students, but more importantly, great humans.
That's beautiful.
I absolutely feel the same way, not only about you, but about all my students.
It's so rare that you're going to meet someone that says, hey, you as a person, I care about you and I love you. And she does that for so many students.
Do I get to hug him?
Well, our scouting report each week has been brought to you by the Akron Fairlawn Hilton Hotel. We're glad they're with us all season long. What we're going to talk about now is a quick look ahead to the 2025 season. What we know for sure, the Zips will open up the season at home against Wyoming. They'll go out to Nebraska, down to UAB, and back home to take on Duquesne. But what I want to talk about now, Coach, is the portal. And you called it last year about this same time. It's the Wild, Wild West. It'll open up next Monday. Who knows what's going to happen, Coach? It's tough to be a college football coach not knowing what you got coming back and what you got to go get.
Yeah, in terms of roster management and now the rule changes of the 85 scholarships, and I believe, well, I should say 105 roster spots. We really haven't heard the kind of final ruling on that. But, yeah, you've got to be great understanding who's exhausting their eligibility, the numbers that you have to replace, and then the anticipated attrition via the portal, which opens December 9th and then closes on the 28th. So we'll be ready to make those adjustments.
Now, there's no more letter of intent. What are they going to sign when you sign kids here in the next couple of weeks?
Scholarship papers. Yeah, so that's a change they made. No more NLI, just scholarship papers.
Gotcha. Of course, the transfer window has been shortened, I think, from 30 days to 20 days, so you don't have a whole lot of time to make sure you get what you need.
Yeah, they're going to go 20 in the winter, and then it's going to open back up right around the conclusion of spring ball for 10 days to give you 30 total. And, trying to, figure out a way to make this calendar work, for people who are playing in championship games, people playing in bowls, and then the timing of getting kids in mid-year. I don't know that there's a perfect solution, but this is the one that the decision makers and powers that be have settled on, so we'll adjust to it.
Now, the first signing date, I think, for high school is December 4th through the 6th, and there's a second signing period, which is the traditional first Wednesday in February.
Right, so they moved it up this year, so it'll be this upcoming Wednesday. I believe that's the 4th. Will be first opportunity to sign, and then the traditional first Wednesday in February.
Gotcha. Well, Coach, I know it's going to be a busy time getting players in here, deciding what you need, but again, congratulations on a huge win over Toledo. Congratulations on bringing that wagon wheel back to Akron, and it was fun working with you this year.
Absolutely. Always appreciate your preparation, your professionalism, and support of the Zips, and always great time to stop over during the week and do the show.
All right, thank you, and we'll talk to you again soon with Zips Weekly for basketball. Our thanks to Chad Welker for producing and directing this each week, and always remember, throughout the season, go Zips.
has been a presentation from Learfield IMG College.